Hello, it is 9 p.m. in Djibouti. It's time to English New Editions. For tonight headlines, we have the celebration is of the National and African Youth Day. Concerning international scene, crash in Indonesia, one of the black boxes recovered. Welcome to our newsroom, and it is under the aegis of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margele, and the First Lady, President of the UNFT, Khadra Mahmoud Haid, that the Secretary of State for Youth and Sports, in close collaboration with the Ministry of Housing and Urbanism, organized this morning the National African Youth Day, placed under the theme Environment and Patriotism. This ceremony was rich in color and emotion. It was punctuated by song and dances, projections of informative report, and subtle sketches. Then the audiences listened attentively to the speech made by the Secretary of State for Youth and Sports, the President of the Republic. The show was at the height of the event, and the words spoken were just and strong, particularly well organized, with no downtimes, no improvisations, and no false note. It has been successful. This ceremony was a real forum in which questions about the future of the most vital demographic component of our country were the subject of the day.
markay tahay danguud horow mar loo guleeyay maxaa iga galay qofkii yidhi miyuu gaygani u dhalan markay tahay danguud horow mar loo guleeyay maxaa iga galay qofkii yidhi miyuu gaygani u dhalan
بابلا محاكا قلك ويلي قفويا متى قرش ذاك الديمن وحاجز كلي كدرن متكتيسي نقبي قالفتي انتي كلو حقوق بابلا محاكا قلك ويلي قفويا متى قرش ذاك الديمن
dalkani noo wada gudboone waxaa guusha u horkaca gurboodkiyo dhalinyariyo in gargaradkiisa weeyaan dalkani noo wada gudboone waxaa guusha u horkaca gurboodkiyo dhalinyariyo in gargaradkiisa weeyaan dhulkoogu wuxuu galay kuwii gudi lahaa balka gadaal dambe jilka kicii u sii gogol xaadhilaa hadduu garaadkoogu korin hadaa laga gudbi qabiilo la wada garan oy dhismaha qaraney la wada garan oy dhismaha qaran la wada garan oy dhismaha qaraney la wada wada garan oy dhismaha qaran heliyalo heliyalo hobo heliyalo ha heliyalo 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 hobo heliyalo ha heliyalo dulkoogu wuxuu galay heliyalo kuwii gudi lahaa abalka gadaal dambe jilka kicii usii gogol xaadhila hadduu garaadkoogu kori hadnaa laga gudbii qabiyo la wada garan oy dhismaha qaraney la wada garan oy dhismaha qaran la wada garan oy dhismaha qaraney la wada garan oy dhismaha qaran
This event brought together members of government, parliamentarians, diplomatic and military corps, civil society and actors, and large number of young people to attend the event. It should be noted that this National and African Youth Day was, of course, a reflection of multicultural, festive and joyful of Djibouti. When the speech is that of the Secretary of State for Youth and Sports, Hassan Mohammed Kamil, was more striking and reminding how much the behavior of man had a negative impact on the environment, that there was more that time to stop this behavior and to participate in the preservation and protection of the environment, he said. For his part, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margele, after having outlined the action is undertaken in the context of the protection of the environment and the preservation of our ecosystems on a global level, he emphasized the obligations for the Djiboutian to adopt a patriotic behavior more inclined to the protection of our environment. He ended his speech.
Deux thèmes qui ont à mes yeux une importance capitale, car le premier renvoie à la nécessité d'un développement durable.
My fellow citizens, it is for me a great honor to celebrate the National and African Youth Day, which this year has a theme under the banners of environment and patriotism. Two words that have a huge importance for me, because the first word refers to the need for sustainable development, while the second one reminds us of our duty as a citizen engaged in the defense of our country. We keep repeating it, the youth are the future of our nation, so their fate is intimately linked to the preservation of our environment, so as not to jeopardize with their future. Preserving water resources, fishing resources, as well as mining resources from any degradation is to enable young people to have employment and income opportunities in the coming years. It is also and above all for future generations a livable planet protected from the vagaries of the climate and environmental hazards. The theme of the environment is therefore linked to that of patriotism, because fighting against deforestation, managing waste, avoiding the waste of water and energy, combating marine pollution are all actions that require a high level of patriotism and concern for the future. Our youth must therefore be made aware of the importance of protecting the biodiversity that provides the population with water, food, wood for energy and medicine. Biodiversity also contributes to the economic development of our country, since the development of tourism and fishing is based on the terrestrial and marine ecosystem that it is essential to preserve if you want to achieve sustainable development. Our country has a rich biodiversity in both terrestrial and marine environments. Djibouti is home to iconic plant and animal species such as francolin, gazelle, shark whale, I can also mention magnificent ecosystem, including the boxwood forest of the acacia forest, the mangrove forest of Gotoria and Musha and Mascali Islands. Unfortunately, this rich biodiversity that attracts tourists is threatened by human action such as deforestation, overgrazing and illegal fishing. However, the biggest threats to our environment come from climate change.
Je vous remercie de votre attention.
The President continues to make to his speech for making peace, stability and tolerance, and urged all the populations to preserve the environmental systems. It is our priority, he said.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. maanta waxaa halkan lanagu tusay wax cajiib ah oo aan aad ugu bogay anigu shakhsiyan.
Our country, which already has an arid and hot climate, is hit hard by global warming. For instance, the Republic of Djibouti already faces water scarcity, lower productivity of agriculture, devastating floods, recurring droughts, and rising sea levels. In addition, our plant species and our rare forests are likely to disappear gradually under the combined effect of the scarcity of rain and the increase of temperature. In addition, floods threaten our coastal cities and our roads and rail infrastructure to the point that we were forced to build dikes in Humbuli. Our young people must therefore become more involved in the climate change adaptation action, notably through reforestation and water reservoirs. Waste management is another challenge facing our city. Young people need to learn the right thing about waste management. Avoiding littering on the ground or in the sea is an act of civility and patriotism that must become natural to our young people. And there is a need to fight especially the plastic bags that invade our trees, our streets and our marine environment. So young associations have already carried out innovative action to recycle plastic waste or tires. Young people are also mobilizing in all neighborhoods to carry out cleanup actions. These actions demonstrate young people's commitment to protecting the environment. I therefore urge them to continue in this way and to amplify their actions that will contribute to the sustainable development of our country.
The day ended with the presentations of awards for those who have distinguished themselves in the promotions of sport and youth activity, as well as the awarding of prizes to the winners of the grand prizes of the Head of State Youth Initiative for the distinctions as it is customary for a few years. 9 personalities, including 2 women, were decorated. It is about Mr. Rufa Muhammad Rufa, Hussein Fadul Dabar, Ahmed Ali Muhammad, Lubna Abdul Aziz Abdi, Miss Quraish Ali Gedi, Mr. Ahmed Abdi Umar, Hassan Hashi Yassin, and Muhammad Abdi Didar, Safwan Abdu Ahmed. For the 4th editions of the grand prizes of the Head of State, the first prizes was 3 million Djibouti franc was awarded to Miss Madina Yusuf, who won the head of the jury for its recycling activity. The second prizes worth 2 million Djibouti franc went to the SOS Environment Association, which is committed to protecting the environment. And finally, the third prize is awarded executive to 2 associations, namely the Association Red Sea and the Associations of the Caravan of Development of Gobad, which will each have 1 Djibouti million franc. The organizers of this event also gave to the head of state and the First Lady a symbolic gift to the honors of this event. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, received today at the Presidential Palace a Saudi delegation of high level led by the councillors of the Royal Palace, who is also the General Supervisors of the King Salman Centers for the Humanitarian Aid and Relief, Dr. Abdulaziz bin Abid Al-Aziz Al-Rabieh. During this meeting, the two sides discussed ways to develop and strengthen bilateral relations and cooperation between the two countries in various fields. Dr. Abdullah Al-Rabi'a took the opportunity to inform the President of the Republic of the various tasks and activities carried out by the Center since its creation in 2015. It should be noted that Dr. Rabi'a met yesterday with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation as the spokesman of the government. He also participated in seminars on Saudi humanitarian action, particularly in Yemen, which has been suffering from the war since the end of March 2018. The Minister of Interior, Hassan Omar Mohammed, and the Ambassador of the Warders of the two holy mosques in Djibouti, Abdulaziz bin Abdullah Al-Dawood, attend this meeting. In an interview granted us with the head of the Saudi delegation, praised the fraternal relations and fruitful cooperation between Djibouti and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, as well as the strategic partnership between the two countries. He stressed that the purpose of the visit was to officially open Saudi villages in the Abha region in the north of the country as part of Saudi support for Yemeni refugees in Djibouti. The Royal Palace councillors, who is also the General Supervisors of the King Salman Center for the Humanitarian Aid and Relief, praised the fraternal relations and the close cooperation between Djibouti and Saudi Arabia, emphasized the similarity of the vision of the two countries on international issues. Finally, Dr. Abdullah bin Abdulaziz Al-Rabi'a praised the positive attitude of the Republic of Djibouti toward the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. For his part, the Minister of Interior, Hassan Omar Mohammed, underlined the ongoing support of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in favor of the Republic of Djibouti, stressing the importance of existing bilateral cooperation between Djibouti and Riyadh. The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Muhammad Mahamoud, presided today a ceremony of handing laptops to inspector and educational advisors of the Technical Education and Vocational Training. The ceremony took place at the Industrial and Commercial High School, in the presence of the Secretary General of the MENFOP, Mr. Mohammed Abdallah Mahyoub, the General Directors of the Technical Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Abdul Qadir Hamid Abdul Qadir, the General Inspectors, Mr. Mahdim Umar Farah, as well as many inspector and pedagogical advisor. On this occasion, the Minister of Education, Mr. Mustafa Muhammad Mahmoud, recalled that the transformations of the Djiboutian schools requires the effective commitment of all pedagogical supervisors, namely inspector, pedagogical advisor, to support teachers in their work, innovations, and for the success of our learner. Finally, the ceremony ended with the handing over of the laptop to the inspector and educational advisor of the Technical Education and Vocational Training. In his intervention, the minister said that these donations of computer equipment is part of the strengthening and improvement of the tasks entrusted to the staff of the educational management. After the commune of Balbala, the office of the Minister of Delegate in charge of decentralization is held yesterday, Wednesday, a working meeting with the municipality of Blaus. It focused on the monitoring of operation and activity of this decentralized entity. The initiative comes from the Minister Delegate in charge of decentralization, Muhammad Aramis, in accordance with the missions of powers attributed to this department by the legislator for the implementation of national policy in the field of decentralization. Chaired by the Secretary General of the Ministry, Mohammed Faraj, the meeting brought together in the conference rooms of the National Unions of Djiboutian Women, senior officials of the Department of Decentralization, the elected officials of the municipality of Blaus, headed by their President Mohammed Omar Ismail, the representative of the State Secretary for Social Affairs, the Ministry of Women and Family, and the Minister of Housing and National Union of Djibouti Women. The state of operations of the municipality and its activity have been widely reviewed and have been subjected of enriching exchanges. During this meeting, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Decentralization, Mohammed Faraj, emphasized the importance of the strong involvement of the local elected representative in activities aimed at improving the living conditions of their citizens. A convention signing ceremony took part between the Civil Aviation Authority and the French Embassy on the Civil Aviation Safety Cooperation Project. The signing was made between the General Managers of the Civil Aviation Authority, Al-Miss Mahmoud Haid, and the Ambassador of France to Djibouti, Mr. Christophe Guillou, at turn of the century on following the fatal event. The safety of civil aviation is already a major concern of the international aviation community. Safety has therefore taken a whole new dimension. State actors have had to deploy an head of effort to protect these vital sectors and these vectors of jobs represented by air transport. The ceremony was attended by several other officials of the Civil Aviation Authority. For his part, the General Managers of the Civil Aviation, Mr. Al-Miss Mahmoud Haid, thanked the French government for their close collaboration with the Republic of Djibouti in the files of development of air safety. As part of the fight against smuggling in all its form, on October 30, 2018, following information is cross-referenced, the gendarmes of the brigades 4, 3 and 5 have moved to the street 5, where a depot contraband goods have been reported. Arrivals at the scene, the gendarmes carried out a search. During this operation, the gendarmes discovered 7 boxes of cigarette and benzene in Royal Marcus, which has just been unloaded. On the spot, the owners of the illicit goods was arrested. While she was preparing to move this product, the alleged perpetrators of this smuggling was placed in its police custody, and all the merchandise were seized. The person involved in this case will be brought to justice for smuggling. In addition, the High Command of the Gendarmerie informed the population that gendarmes will spare no effort day and night to deal with this kind of illegal traffic, which seriously affected the national economy. Concerning international scene, crash in Indonesia, one of the black boxes recovered. One of the 2 black boxes of the plane of the Indonesian Airlines Lion Air that crashed at sea on Monday with 189 people on board was found, said Thursday the bosses of the National Committee on Transportation Safety. We found one of the black boxes, said Sergeant 2, head of the National Committee of Transportation Safety. We do not know it is the FDR which records the flight parameter on the CVR which recorded the sounds in the cockpit. The Indonesian military announced Wednesday that it may have located the wreckage of the plane. To recover the 2 black boxes of the aircraft, 1,000 people were mobilized, including dozens of the divers, as well as helicopters and boats. The Lion Air Boeing 737 maker, which went into service only a few months ago, disappeared in the Java Sea on Monday shortly before the crew had requested traffic control permission to return to Jakarta, its starting point. Its destination was Pinggang, a transit area for tourists wishing to enjoy the beaches of the neighboring island of the Belitung. The authorities have not the possibility of finding survivors. This is it for tonight news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.